gritted teeth, his whole body kind of tensed up. It felt to me like he just wanted me to cry or beg for mercy or something.
A senior government official brought to tears, testifying against the Queensland branch of the CFMEU.
She stayed silent and kept very still, waiting for any sudden movement so she could literally duck to avoid a blow that she thought was about to come. Our case theory is essentially the CFMEU targeted in substance any official they dealt with who refused to bend to their will and act on their instructions.
Since November, this inquiry has heard explosive accounts of standover tactics and violence by the CFMEU. This week, in the 10th block of hearings, the focus was on allegations the union captured or bullied industry regulators and the construction watchdog. Andrea Fox's evidence painted a stark picture of the union's alleged use of physical threats to influence government agencies. The Commission heard 8 years ago she was a safety official at the state's Office of Industrial Relations. New to the role, she attended the CFMEU's Brisbane office to discuss changes to a code of practice. She claims her meeting with State President Royce Kupsch was cut short with an abusive tirade from State Secretary Michael Ravbar, who she'd never met before.
I just remember telling myself you're just going to have to really watch these two men because this might get physical. I thought maybe he would lose control of his temper and punch me or something, or I thought maybe he would try and grab me and shake me or something.
Under cross-examination, Mr Ravbar's lawyer accused her of exaggerating his behaviour because she was professionally embarrassed.
But I don't want to suggest that it was like yelling across the field kind of volume.
Ms Fox claimed as a result the union refused to work with her and would treat other officials they didn't like the same, effectively declaring them a persona non grata. The Commission also heard evidence about another Queensland public servant, Helen Burgess, who was a director at Workplace Health and Safety Queensland, while allegedly also having a close personal relationship with union boss Royce Kupsch.
Ms Helen Burgess was a key person through whom the CFMEU wielded control over inspectors.
I always used to think, well, does Helen really know who she's working for? You know, it should be the Office of Industrial Relations. It's not doing the bidding and the work for the CFMEU, which she continually did.
The inquiry heard allegations Helen Burgess bent enforcement, sharing inside information, following union directions on which contractors to target, and undermined her own colleagues who pushed back. Recent accusations included this from a former colleague in far north Queensland.
I always thought she fervently believed in their ideology, or she was getting some financial benefit from it. Whatever the union said was right, no matter what my inspectors did.
In 2022, Kim Bancroft became Helen Burgess's boss and decided to reassign her to another role.
So that we could start to, eradicate these issues that we're having here of perceived regulatory capture, the undue influence that that we're hearing that she's having on the inspectorate.
Stop it! She says union heavyweight Michael Ravbar tried to intervene.
I was surprised by why Mr Ravbar would be calling so upset about an internal decision around one of our directors.
Then, 9 months into her tenure, the inquiry heard Ms Bancroft herself was sacked without explanation. She asked her boss why.
And he said, yes, there is a union group that is unhappy with you.
Ms Burgess is still employed by the OIR, but she was suspended without pay late last year over an internal review into alleged conflicts of interest with union heavyweights. We also heard from Graham Easterby. He's a former investigator who joined the construction watchdog in 2018 and also one of several officials to resign en masse from the QBCC in 2021 over concerns their independent body was compromised by CFMEU influence.
Actions that I had seen that I felt were not in the best interest of the construction industry and that may pose breaches of the Public Service Act.
Union power! Union leader Jade Ingham had been appointed to the QBCC board in 2018. Mr Easterby claims it pressured the regulator to target certain contractors, even without valid grounds. He also claimed Labor's then Public Works Minister Mick de Brenni pressured the Watchdog's Commissioner to target a builder at odds with the CFMEU. Mr Easterby told the inquiry he took those concerns to the Crime and Corruption Commission, but he says he was told that while the then Labor government was in power, it was likely nothing would happen.
They said they didn't see this going anywhere while this government, the words were to the effect that wouldn't see this going anywhere while this government's in power.
Who were the people that told you this?
Oh, one of the gentlemen that interviewed me.
Mr Easterby's evidence, among other claims of the CFMEU's influence heard this week, made its way to Queensland's Labor leader Stephen Miles in Mackay.
They're not allegations we've been previously aware of.
Mr Miles was also questioned about his two Labor colleagues, former ministers Grace and Mick de Brenni, whose names were raised in evidence this week.
He should be explaining why he still has Grace, the shadow minister, sitting around his shadow cabinet table.
Grace and Mick de Brenni have been named, though. Are you still backing there?
Well, that's correct, and that's why they should have an appropriate opportunity to put their side of the story and also interrogate those witnesses. What we see at the moment is reporting on untested allegations. They should get the opportunity for their lawyers to interrogate those witnesses.